Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently designing ourselves a habitation/science module for our asteroid base, and we're running into a problem where it's just too tall. We can handle it in terms of actual launching, but it's going to be very unstable through the atmosphere. So I want to shorten it up. Step 1 is going to be taking these off. I think we're going to have the mobile processing lab right here. That's fine. And then we will attach the rest of the rocket like so. So that way, this is our upper stage. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Now, one thing I would like to do as well is I'm going to move these up to here. We're going to take off the atomic rocket motor, and we're going to detach this X-232 fuel tank. Stick the rocket motor back on. And make sure that our struts are connected. I think they were from the top, actually, so we're going to have to put new struts on. So let's go ahead and do that. Struts from here to here. Excellent. Okay, and with that, yes, we did lose some fuel, but that's okay, because what we are going to do is offset that to some degree. Now, the mobile processing lab here is fine to block the windows on for sure. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we are going to put on radial decouplers, two of them, and they're going to be here, like so. We will ditch this hitchhiker storage container, and we will put this one strapped on. Oh, come on. Can we not radially mount them? I guess we can't radially mount them. Okay, in that case, we can do something slightly different. We can then put on something. We can put a structural piece on here and mount them to that. Like, we could put on, say... We could put on a modular girder adapter or something silly like that. Or is it just not letting us attach anything radially? Like, what if we did a fuel tank? Those can attach radially. Yeah, that's fine. So if we attach a fuel tank onto there, that's not exactly what I was looking to do, because I want to be able to ditch some fuel tanks if necessary. But I guess this is okay. So we'll do that. Now, it's not exactly where I'd like it to be, which is more like there, centered. And I can't help but notice that this fuel tank didn't go onto the decoupler. There we go. That's a bit more like it. Okay, and then we'll put the hitchhiker storage containers, I think, down below. Like so. I was hoping to do it the other way and then have decouplers for our fuel tanks, and then we could centipede it and just ditch fuel tanks. But I think having additional fuel storage is ultimately fine. So let's go ahead and run ourselves some... Hang on a moment. It's in this one. Let's go ahead and run ourselves some fuel ducts from here to here. There we go. And realistically, I would like to never stage these. Like, just don't. Just don't stage them. I guess we'll put it way up here and just never stage them. Now, we could have some nose cones on these fuel tanks, and that's probably not an awful idea. So let's go ahead and go into aerodynamic. Where is aerodynamic? Here it is. And let's toss on some nose cones. However, I want a decoupler on here. And I think it's a 25? Yes. Because we don't want to carry the weight of those nose cones forever. So let's go ahead and have these. I mean, we can largely manually deploy them. We'll stick them here. Excellent. And then do we want anything else in this side stage? Is the question. And the answer to that is, I don't know. Do we have anything that we really need? Not really, other than perhaps an antenna. It'd be nice to have a relay antenna on this thing. Like an RA100. What if we were to just stick one on? Or put one like that? I don't know. That might burn up. But then again, it might not. It would also... What is the thermal tolerance of that? 2000 Kelvin? 8 meters per second impact? 4000 kilopascal pressure. What do we have in our bay for an antenna? We've got a Communitron 16S. Let's ditch that. Excellent. And I think, yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and put a relay antenna here, and to keep it even in weight, we'll put a pair of them on, and I think they'll be okay there. I hope. Okay, so how are we looking here? Well, one thing we definitely should do is get these strut connectors connecting up here if we can in any way. And it would appear we can't. We can go up to here, and we should put in some struts from here to here. Did you put one over here? No. What are you doing, KSP? From here to here. Okay, now we've got one there. Fantastic. Okay, another one from here to here. That should keep those firmly attached and keep them from wiggling about too much. Now, one thing we definitely want to do is drop the oxidizer from these tanks. We are never ever going to use the oxidizer, and that will increase our delta V substantially. Yeah, look at that. The difference between having this Jumbo 64, actually let's do this. 9543 delta V. Drop it out of our side tanks. 10457. Drop it out of our main stack tank. 14126. That's a lot of delta V. Now, thrust to weight on Kerbal. Let's take a quick look here. Thrust to weight 1.23, which is a wee bit on the low side. So we might want to consider, well, 2913 and then 4407. Yeah. Okay. We might want to consider adding a little bit of fuel. Well, actually, now that I'm looking at this, we've got ourselves 2 nuclear stages. That's why we're so tall. Do we actually need 2 nuclear stages? Let's think about this. What happens if we ditch this? We were at 14,000 delta V. So what happens if we were to ditch at this decoupler, take that off, and then place this here? What are we looking at? It's a 2,000 delta V difference. And it's also not that much savings in terms of money. Let's put it back. So, right like that. And we can ditch that. So, yeah, that's not that different in terms of money, and the only question is, will it be stable going up? I suspect it will. There we go. I suspect it'll be stable going up. Ish. Stable-ish. I mean, this will be stable. It shouldn't wiggle too much. Theoretically. It should be nice and rigid. So I'm going to save that. I overwrote the Snedgus Mark 6 lander. Whoops. Oh well. And we need to be considering what Kerbals we're going to send on this. So we definitely need a scientist. In fact, we should hire some people. So I'm going to resave that, and let's head over to the Kerbal complex, because we need 3 engineers on that ship, and I'd like to hire 3 new engineers, and I'd like to hire 1 new scientist, I think. Actually, no, we've got the scientist. So we've got 2 engineers. We actually have 3 engineers. Now that I think about it, I think we're okay. We need 3 engineers on the flight, but only facilities to hold 10 Kerbals. We don't need to send 10 Kerbals on this. So let's go ahead and just bring 3 engineers, the 3 that we've got right now. We aren't planning any future manned missions, technically, or if we are, we'll probably be departing from that asteroid. So let's just go ahead and toss ourselves... Let's see. Bob will put in the mobile processing lab. And I think we'll also have Frandis in there, just so that we can process things at peak efficiency. I think you have to have 2 scientists in there to process at peak efficiency. Jebediah will be with Bill in the command pod. And then we would need Genefin and Supant. And then Valentina, I guess you're staying here. Valentina is going to be here all alone. Poor Valentina. That's okay. She's always got Minmus. Okay, do we need any heat reduction for the mobile processing lab? I don't think we do. Come on. I want to pin it. I want to pin it here. Okay, I guess I'm not pinning it. So, oh sure, now it briefly pinned. Okay. Yeah, it can store 750 data, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't think we need any cooling. Okay. So, let's do a test flight of this, monstrosity I'm gonna go with. This is a monstrosity. If we run into problems, the first thing to go will be that first nuclear stage. Let's run a quick pre-flight checklist, though, and make sure that all of our staging is correct and that our oxidizer situation is taken care of. We don't want to be carrying oxidizer we're not going to use. There's no doubt about that. So, let's see here. No oxidizer. No oxidizer. No oxidizer, no oxidizer, and no oxidizer. Excellent. Let's check our staging. So those 5 engines go off first, then those 4 detach, then the core stage detaches and the first nuclear stage fires, then the first nuclear stage detaches and the second nuclear stage fires, then our nose cones detach. So let's go ahead and get the nose cone detachment down, like, down here. Well, not here, but like here. When we're firing our nuclear stage, we definitely don't want to have these nose cones anymore. And then our side modules detach, which we never want to have happen. Is there any way we can, like, disable these radial decouplers? Nope. Unfortunate. Okay. So do we trust MechJeb with Ascent on this thing? It's a good question. Well, this is a test flight, so let's try it out. I will be willing to revert this, if necessary. Let's do this. Oh. Oh, that is disgusting thrust to weight. We may want to consider upgrading our outer engines from mainsails to something more powerful. But we'll see what kind of speed we reach as we go through the atmosphere. I mean, ultimately, as long as we get into orbit, well, as long as we get to the circularization burn, that's ultimately what matters. Looks like we've got some roll nonsense going on, some roll authority issues. Okay. That's not a huge surprise. This is the moment of truth, right here. As we approach max Q, and as we start our gravity turn. If we have issues anywhere, it'll be here. We're no longer having rotational authority issues. MechJeb sorted that out. Are we bending much? We're not bending much. That's good. That's really good. Let's pull up our delta V stats here. Okay. We've got another minute and 20 seconds on this burn. So let's see here. We do, I think, have a little bit of bending here, but it's manageable, I think. Another minute until our side boosters here detach. We're definitely having some pitch authority issues. However, once we get into space, that won't be a problem. Ooh, this is looking nasty. I'm going to turn on RCS to help control that. Get it under control, MechJeb. We're not going very fast. And that's because of our thrust to weight. Our thrust to weight is going up substantially, though. Okay. So far, so good. We're punching through the atmosphere. How are we doing on RCS? We're using it relatively quickly. And now we're really starting to move. If we're going to lose one of these relay antennas, it'll be now. Apoapsis height is going to make it 270. Oh, I was afraid of that. Okay, so we took out our center stage when we detached. So let's go ahead and revert that. So the core issue there then is that we simply don't have enough thrust to weight. So let's think about upgrading our side boosters. We'll keep the center as a mainsail. I think that's fine. But let's think about upgrading our side boosters from mainsails to, I don't know, rhinos? Let's see, what actually has the highest thrust to weight at sea level? 1205 from rhinos compared to the mainsails 1379. Okay. So what about a Kodiak? No. No. Bobcats are probably going to be too small as well. Now, a Mastodon has slightly more. What about a Skipper, actually, now that I think about it? Nope. Okay. What do I want to go for, then? A mammoth? We could go for 4 mammoths on the outside. That would maybe be overkill. Let's take a quick look, actually. Let's see what the thrust to weight on that would be. Besides disgusting. Oh boy. So we're looking at a decent thrust to weight there. 2.47. It's really stupid looking. Do these have gimbaling? They do have gimbaling. We could consider ditching the tail fins. Now, I don't know how we're going to manage the detach. That's the real question here. Let's run a test flight of this. Now, this is a whole lot more expensive, but that's fine. We don't really care about money. All we want to do is get this module into orbit. Into a suborbital trajectory with nothing blown up. That's the goal here. Now, this is an extremely heavy rocket, and 4 mammoths and a mainsail will lift it. There's no doubt about that. The real question is, how quickly will they lift it? So, let's go ahead and try this. Once again, I'm A-okay with reverting this. Okay. This is quite the thrust to weight. We're having some control authority issues. Look at that bending. Oh. That's because we have too much thrust to weight, I think. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so what if I were to manually pilot this? Would I be able to get better results? The answer is probably yes. For one thing, I tend to take a much shallower approach to the gravity turn than MechJeb does. It's slightly less fuel efficient, but ultimately, I think that's fine. What we really need is we need to get this thing into space. So essentially straight up. Then we can go sideways once we have a lot less atmospheric issues going on. So let's go ahead and just be on kill rot. I don't want RCS on. And I'm not going to use ascent guidance. I'm going to try this one manually. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to try a gravity turn right at about... Actually, right now I want to be at surface up. So I'm going to try a gravity turn right at about 500 meters per second. And I'm going to take it very slowly. Like, it's going to be kind of insane, but I want to punch straight up for now. So once we have an apoapsis height of, actually right about now, I'm going to tip over a little bit. Let's just be on kill rot for right now. Not much. No. It's tipping a little more than I'd like. Okay, let's just sit here for the time being. Oof. Just go to up. That's all we need right now. This is just so much force that it's causing a lot of issues. Okay, I'm going to cut right now. And we're going to just go to horizontal velocity up without any thrust. Because we are way, way over where we need to be here. So where is our horizontal velocity up? That's kind of disgusting. Actually, let's... We're in space right now, so we have no atmospheric pressure. We have all the time in the world. We've got 4 minutes to apoapsis. So let's get this roll under control, and let's find out where surface velocity up is. Or rather, horizontal velocity up is. In retrospect, maybe this thing needs to be launched at like 75% thrust. We have absolutely no control authority here. It's insane. Okay. How much of our monopropellant have we burned? A lot, but that's okay. I don't think we'll need it that badly. I was able to dock with the asteroid without any monopropellant before, so it should be fine. Okay, let's just go to kill rot for right now. And let's head directly to the horizon. And let's pitch down. RCS off, please. I'm going to freeze our rotation now. And I just want to go down to 90 degrees. Our inclination is definitely going to be wacky. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go add maneuver, prograde. Like so. And we're just going to burn heavy prograde until we out of here. There we go. Let's do that. Maneuver planner? No, not flight recorder. Get out of here. Not landing guidance. Maneuver planner. There we go. Execute that node. Let's turn on RCS for this turn. Just briefly, just to get it started. There we go. I am not going to time warp this burn. There is no doubt about that. I am, however, going to quick save. We got this thing into space. That's the important thing. This monster. Oh boy. Out of curiosity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yup. So that happened. It burned while I had the time warp up, which I was not expecting. I'm going to go back to that save because that was just a physics glitch. So I'm going to go back to that save. And let's see here. This is... when is this? Year 87, day 409. This is it. So yeah, the core problem there was a physics glitch because of the time acceleration. So that was the problem. However, it is time to put a cut in. So let's take a quick look here and see what that save has got. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put that cut in right now. Next episode, we'll finish getting this thing to a place where we can actually use it a little bit better. See you all then.